G'day, Daza here from Smoking Hot Rocks Competition Barbecue Team. Today we're going to show you how to cook the ultimate pork ribs. So rightio, today we've got a beautiful set of baby back ribs from Wichita Packing. These are absolutely beautiful ribs. And we have a St. Louis. So they're two different cuts of ribs. So what we've got here is the baby back ribs. So this is normally the backbone. They call them baby backs because it goes to the back and they're normally a smaller rib, so that's why they're called baby backs. So the St. Louis would normally, so that's off there, it would come down and be along here. Obviously this is a different animal, but so that's the top spine, so that's your two separate ribs. Now these Wichita Packing ribs are so meaty. Normally the baby backs don't have a lot of meat. They have like shiners in them where you can actually see the bones. But I mean, look at these are absolutely gorgeous, and these absolutely beautiful too. So a lot of the time they have a membrane on the back here which you've got to remove, but they've actually been removed on these. They've been done in the factory, which is a bit of a bonus because they can be quite hard to get off. But if you see it, you just put a little knife under it and you'll peel it all the way off. You don't have to take it off, but it just makes it a little bit nicer to eat. So we can trim all little bits of this off. Because what happens is all those little taggy bits, they can get burnt. So we just trim them off like that. Just along the edges. You can be fussy if you like, or don't worry about it too much. Feed that to the dog. See, little bits like this, sort of trim these up like that. But the thing with the Wichita Packing ribs is they don't really need a lot of trimming. They've sort of done them in the factory. They put a lot of time and effort into producing a beautiful rib. So you can sort of take your little bits of fat off. You have a feel for hard fat. If you feel hard fat, like in there, you could scoop that out like that. Because all the soft stuff will render down. So what I do now is I just take a little bit of peanut oil and just run it over them like that, and just rub that on. This sort of just helps the rubs stick to the meat. So this is White Lightning. I put this on first. It's quite a sort of salty bottom layer, so I like to put that on first. It sort of holds the shaker quite high up. Sort of, you don't want big splotches of it. I'd normally let that sit for probably 10 minutes, and that'll sort of, the salt will start to draw the moisture out of the meat, and it'll sort of, you know, become really sweaty looking. A little bit pressed for time today, so we're just going to push on, get it done. And it doesn't make a huge difference, it just helps the next rub stick to it. One is, I like 999 swine. It'd be a bit more heavier with this one. Got great flavour. So then we're going to do a next layer. This is real savoury. This is a trade secret, this one. I'll show you how to open an Aromachef bag. It's got the thumb across here. You can never undo that. You've got to rip it open with your teeth. It's beautiful charcoal, I tell you. Today I'm going to use a little bit of hickory. I sort of mix it up a little bit, sometimes use fruit woods. But yeah, today I sort of feel like a little bit more of a stronger smoke, so so that's what I'm going to use. You don't need a lot. As you can see, I'm only putting 2 lumps of it in, and they're not big lumps. You really got to treat your smoke like a seasoning, just like salt and pepper. If you put too much of it in, it's no good. It just overpowers everything. So a couple of those is all you need. So yeah, we're going to use the barrel smoker today. They're a lot hotter and faster, and they do a really nice flavour. They're probably a little bit more smokier than some of your offset smokers and Webbers and stuff like that. And as I said, they run pretty hot and pretty fast and create some pretty banging flavour. So we'll sit our ribs in here. When you get the ribs in, just push them together so they push up like that. So you see how they're stretched out, just push them all the way back in, just keeps them, makes them cook a bit more evenly and like that. So we'll leave that there, crank that up to about 300 Fahrenheit, which is about 150 Celsius. And we'll run that for a couple of hours, let them get, you know, the smoke flavour into them. We'll check them along the way, but yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll show you wrapping them, what I add to the wraps, and yeah, it'll be awesome. Yeah, so we've had these ribs on for about an hour now. So as you can see, the bark starting to dry up on the top of them. They're not too bad, they're still sweating away. So little spots, so just give them a little spritz, not too much. You don't want to knock the rub off, just on the dry areas. So we're a couple of hours in now on the ribs, and yeah, they've coloured up really nicely, so you can just give them a spritz. But I'm actually going to wrap those now. I'm really happy with the colour of them. I don't want them to go any further than that. They're beautiful golden colour, looking really good. So now we're going to get the tin foil out and the bits and pieces, and we'll show you how to wrap them up, and we'll carry on cooking them. They might be done in an hour after the wrap, so they're going to be looking really good. Ooh. Get those. Look at these baby backs. Oh yeah. So as you can see, the beautiful colour, the bark's all set up on them, looking really nice. So now this is, you need really good tin foil, and this tin foil is super thick. So for the wrap, a little bit more rub, a little bit of brown sugar. Oh, this is raw. I used to use brown, but I this doesn't burn. The brown sugar can burn a little bit. Flavoury smoked honey. This here's beautiful. Smoked over manuka for 18 hours, and it's got paprika and thyme and other ingredients added into it. It's really nice. Good on everything, cheeses, fruits. That's really nice. So I've got one here that I've just softened. So I've done this in bursts in the microwave of 10-second bursts until it's runny. Give it a stir up once you've done that. This will take your ribs to the next level. Just lay that down like that. Lay your butter along the top like that. You want it to be quite tight. Be careful that you don't poke through the tin foil. This tin foil, as I said, pretty hard to put a hole in it. Got in my spritzer, a little bit of apple juice, and just no more than that. Get that up. So it will go back onto the smoker. And then just repeat the same thing with the next rib. Beautiful. So the ribs are pretty much done. They've been on about 3-4 hours. So it was 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours of the smoking, and then we've wrapped, and they've been wrapped for about approximately an hour. The internal temperature was about 200 Fahrenheit between the bones, and that's pretty much where you want it. They'll be nice and tender, and yeah, they're piping hot. Sometimes a wet rag can be good to grab them. You can tell they're nice and sort open them up a little bit. We'll let them steam out. Look at those. Woohoo. Man, they smell fantastic. So ribs are all rested up. I just give the chopping board a little spritz down. That sort of just helps your rub and stuff when you cut your ribs. Sort of doesn't rub the bark and stuff off, the spices and stuff you've got on. Oh yeah, look at that. They're looking really good. So we'll cut through. You try to cut them with one swipe, so when you come through, don't saw them. Like that. So just plated them up. Just pick one of your favourite barbecue sauces. I cut it with about 50 grams of butter, so sort of half a bottle of sauce and about 50 grams of butter. And yeah, just ribs done, perfection, 3 to 4 hours. That's how Daza does it.